Hi, I'm Bob, one of the facilitators for the table tennis program at the Seniors Association. About 6 or 7 years ago, the Seniors Association was able to get quite a grant from the government. And with the efforts of Chuck Dennis, we were able to purchase 8 new table tennis tables. They're very good quality, and they're very heavy, as a matter of fact. And today we're going to go over some of the maybe little guidelines to help set up the table tennis tables and put them away. Firstly, we store them in the back room. They're numbered, and that helps us remember where to put them. It's not essential, but it makes life a little bit easier. Number 1 table goes in this corner of the gym and goes in a counterclockwise rotation, but don't worry about that. Most of the people who play a lot know exactly where the tables go and how they're to be positioned. If you're not sure about some of the things we're going to talk about, just ask anybody that's here. The first thing that is important is setting these tables up. Once they're rolled out, there's a very ingenious little safety catch and a release. In order to release the table, this door has to be lifted and this lever has to be pushed in. So lift the lever and push in the next section, and that'll release the lock. Lift up the door, you push in the catch, and the table is released. To position the table, you have to lift up one end, and it's rolled. And again, door, lever, push in, and support this section as you drop it. And it gets positioned like that. Okay, the nets are kept in a cupboard on the stage. 1 bag per net, 1 net per table. And when these things come out, we try not to lay them down on the table themselves because they're made of metal. There is a turn screw in the bottom. It goes like so. You tighten the screw from the bottom so that's reasonably tight. And then you go to the other side. And you do the very same thing, making sure the tables are touching. There's a bit of a spacer there that helps to keep the wooden parts apart. And once the standards are in place, it's time for the net. The white section goes on top. The nets are made with a post. The post slides into the sleeve. This little string affair goes on top. A chain fits into this groove in the bottom of the post, and that's one side complete. So now that you have one end affixed, it's time to put the other one in, and there's a bit of tension here, so you do have to pull a bit, slide it down, make sure the string goes over the top, and it gets notched. The chain gets notched at the bottom. So at the end of the day, when your session's over and it's time to take the nets down, there's actually a good way to take the nets down that doesn't cause extra stress to the equipment. The idea here is to undo the chain first and lift the net out. So the tension is now no longer there. We put the net on the table gently and then dismantle the posts. Okay, so one of the last steps is just to put the nets back in the bag. But rather than just tossing them in, we try to make some arrangement so things aren't too tangled. So basically like that. Nets go in the bag, and the bag goes in a bin that's on the stage. To put the tables away at the end, again, they're quite heavy, so you have to be very careful. Either do this by yourself if you're confident, or get someone to help you. They basically they'll go up, and you keep raising the table, until you hear a click, and the lock goes into place. So it goes up, and you keep going, and you'll hear the click, and the table is secure. Okay, the second half of the table also is raised until you hear the click. And then we store them face to face, which is the best way to keep the tables without getting rubbed by other steel portions. If we kept these faces, if we had these faces in contact with the face of the table tennis table, there'd be scratches. So we keep them face to face. At this point, they're ready to be rolled to the back room.